Fine guitars, right?
Yeah, they're good guitars.
You must work for the Grammar Guitar Company.
They're free.
Oh, get out of here. You'll have everybody writing in for a free guitar from the Grammar Guitar Company, I'll tell you that. We had a young lady who's going to sing a song. Instead of getting the young lady to sing a song, Johnny Duncan is going to do his song right here. So I want y'all to kind of put your hands together and make welcome right here with the stars of our show. A nice round of applause for Johnny Duncan. John, here's old John.
Don't accuse me of being without feeling. If you do, then you know that it's right. 'Cause it was you who was careless, and you drove me into another's arms. The other woman wasn't prettier than you, but the other woman soothes my wounded pride. And more important, I feel wanted again. I can't give up the other woman in my life. I'm afloat in the middle of the river, and I can't climb out on either side. If I go over the deep end, it's because, sweetheart, you didn't try. The other woman wasn't prettier than you, but the other woman soothes my wounded pride. And more important, I feel wanted again. I can't give up the other woman in my life. I can't give up the other woman in my life.
All right. Thank you very much, Johnny Duncan, right there. An old Ray Price tune called The Other Woman. It's time to talk about our fine sponsor. That's the folks at Horseshoe Development Corporation, Horseshoe Bend, Arkansas.
John was such a great friend, almost like a father figure, looking after me. He was my favorite, and it probably showed.
Did Gene look at him like a brother or father figure, or I seemed like there was a closeness?
More depended on him to take care of things. Johnny was very level-headed, and he could drive the bus. He could use ether to start the Greyhound bus in the wintertime when it was snowing. He knew how to do it. He knew how to set up the stage. He was a right-hand man.
Johnny was, he was a big personality. You know, he was really easy to get along with. Never caused any trouble. Put up with Gene and Gene's shenanigans, quite a bit. Johnny was a good guy. He really was.
He was a real country type guy, but he was very professional, and so was all them boys were. I mean, at that time, because none of them, I don't think, had ever actually played, all over the United States like we ended up doing. They was more pretty much local boys, I guess, until Gene got them on his show. But they were good. They were very good. And I think they were in with that Wayne Rainey and Lonnie Glosson and all them boys.
Johnny's a good guy. He was just a guy, a family guy that he also played music. In fact, he lived right next door to where I live now. And in fact, my dad sold him the 2 acres that he built his house on. And like I said, Johnny, he back in the older days, he was kind of like a peddler. He went around selling candy bars and potato chips and cigarettes and stuff like that at these little grocery stores. I used to ride with him every once in a while. His country is cornbread. You know, I had a band started called the Crystal River Band, which originated in Cave City, which the Crystal River is a cave out there at Cave City. I guess that's how they got the name. It was my dad, Johnny Duncan, Alton Yancey. He lived, I think right over on 115. And Lehman James. There was several of them boys played. And I'm not sure exactly how they got hooked up with Gene.
The little station that could first flip the switch 50 years ago today to very little fanfare. The Jonesboro Sun had us on the front page that day, barely above the opening of a gas station. Then station owner George Hernreich signed us on that afternoon, and we haven't looked back. The first night we went with Hollywood heavyweight, showing Frank Sinatra in Johnny Concho and Kirk Douglas in The Indian Fighter.
Your father's attacking the fort in the morning. You must go.
From 1963 to 1965, KAIT had no network affiliation, meaning we had to fill those hours locally. The Hillbilly Hootenanny with the Rhodes family filled the bill on Saturdays. Donna and Sandra Rhodes, young ladies in the 60s, remember those days well.
We came from Memphis over here, and we would get here and rehearse and then do the live hour-and-a-half show, and then drive back to Memphis and perform at a midnight show at this theater there.
And of course, KAIT gave a Memphis DJ named Gene Williams his start on TV.
And a friend had told me about this station going on here, so I came up here and I'd never done a television show in my life. I was a disc jockey, and I started a show called Gene Williams Country Junction.
Not all of our programming choices were so entertaining. Former station manager Daryl Cunningham has heard some doozies.
At one time, somebody in desperation turned a camera on a fishbowl, and we were treated to scenes of a goldfish swimming side to side in the fishbowl.
KAIT was good, and it was very professional, but their sound, they didn't, you know, the mics and stuff that they used, and the engineer that would engineer the show, he was like the rest of us. He was pretty rare, you know, pretty new at all that stuff, and he wasn't quite as good as like some of those people in Little Rock and Memphis. Johnny was more Gene's right-hand man on TV, because he would, like if Gene was, I don't know, off in another room or something with a sponsor, a lot of times, or using the bathroom, whatever, you know, it come time for Gene to come back on the air. As far as him talking, well, he would let Duncan do it. And Duncan did some of the MC work every once in a while.
Alice, please believe me, I can't go on and on, holding things together with you gone. Now here's Gene.
Thank you very much, Johnny Duncan. How's it going? Talking to Bill Smith. You know, Bill Smith's directing our show. He's one of the finest old directors I've ever had in my life, I'll tell you that. We're going to take time out for a very important message about some very important folks. So you watch, look, and listen to this little word right here. Matter of fact, it's right there.
How would you describe Gene Williams?
How would I describe him? He was a shyster, and he had two different sides. He really did. I mean, he could be a really, really good person, but he most of the time chose not to be. You know, he was all the time getting people in trouble and thinking it was funny and, you know, stuff like that. But, I mean, he just thought that's the way musicians acted.
Yeah, we were always ragging each other, and then we got to where they would. That's back when everybody used to smoke. Everybody used to smoke. They used to throw cigarette butts, live cigarette butts, in each other's cowboy boots. Johnny Duncan would get it most of the time. His pant leg would be up over his boots. And Gene would go over and stick a cigarette butt down in his boot. That thing would be lit. Oh, my God. He'd be right in the middle of a song or something. But he didn't do it on the live shows. This is when we were taping. They'd have to stop the tape and then do the thing over. But yeah, we were always pulling jokes on each other.
It was not funny, and he did do that. And sometimes they weren't wet; they were on fire. The cigarettes.
They'd get into it every once in a while, and but they always got it smoothed over. You know, they didn't. It was like a family affair, you know, type deal. You know, they might have an argument over it or something, or Gene threatened to fire him and all that stuff. You know, he was always doing that anyway. But he never did. You know, Johnny was his right-hand man.
Yeah, I met him in 1971, and I had heard him on the Gene Williams show, and as a kid, and of course I was still, I guess you call a kid. I got out of the Army, I was 22, but Johnny was a real good singer and real easy to get along with, and he's real, had a great personality. I mean, and I worked with him 2 or 3 years. Gene would introduce him, and then they'd talk, and Johnny was always real good around the screen. He was easygoing. He, always, you could tell he was calm, and he liked the old Ray Price songs. Of course, that's what I cut my teeth on, and we just hit it off. The first time I went back there in the old room, torture being kind of audition. Johnny said, "He plays that old Ray Price fiddle. That's what we need."
He had his own style, kind of like Johnny Cash, and he had a good low end voice, a good bass voice. And remember the other night when I was telling you that some of the best harmonies I ever heard, and I'm serious about that. Some of the best harmonies I ever heard was when Johnny Duncan, Bill Medlock, Ken Burge, and Lynn Burns sang harmony. That was some of the best harmony you ever heard in your life. Singing, with all of them singing and Johnny doing that bass part in all them songs. He was, I'd say, a cross between Ernest Tubb and probably Johnny Cash, maybe.
I was very close to John. Everybody called him Johnny but me. I was the only one who called him John.
Golly, there I am with Johnny and Gene, Orange Blossom. Gene always wanted that.
We're going to feature all the guys in the band back here. A little tune called the Orange Blossom Special. Boys, let's get it one time like this right here.
And I thought, well, if I ever lose that fast when they kicked it, but I kept it. Yeah, he was trying to get me to smile. I was known not to smile. And even though I had already worked the Flea Mace and came back, Johnny was trying, he was saying, coming right on down the couch on the train, and he's trying to get me to smile. I like to look back at it. I seen me looking over at him, and he'd look around the other guys. They was all pretty calm.
Hey, back there. Thank you very much. Roger, come here just a minute. Here's a little boy right here that we've had on a bunch of our TV shows, and he's just flat rearing to go. I tell you, that's a fine job. How you feeling today?
Pretty good, I think.
Are you a little scared?
A little bit.
A little bit. Look out. I got a couple other guys over here, Roger, that's kind of scared a little bit too, but I'm not really.
When y'all did those package shows with Ray Price and Merle Haggard and people like that, was it the regular band? Was Alton in the band? Johnny, and did they all go, or was it a different complete band, or do you remember?
Yeah, no, it was Johnny and Bill. Bill was still in the band at that time, and it was Bill and Johnny, and Roby was with us, steel player. He was with us. And Lynn, she had got in the band about that time too.
Yeah.
We had a hell of a band at one time for country.
When y'all played for any of the big stars, did he ever talk to any of them, or did he ever?
He knew a lot of them. Back in that day, I was kind of quiet and shy. He knew a lot of them, and he'd talk to them or introduce me to them. And of course, it'd be easier now, but when you're, 22, still like a kid, but when you're that age, you're kind of intimidated by people, like Ernest Tubb, and Milt Hillis, and of course they had the best of fiddle players. Yeah, he was real easy going, and we talk about hunting and other stuff a lot, about as much as music and stuff like that. He fished some and hunted some. Of course, he could talk about anything.
Yeah, said Johnny was Gene's right hand.
He was. I agree. 100%. Yeah.
You and Bill Matlock always argue which one's the oldest.
I'm 2 weeks older than he is.
Is that right? Are you gonna pull it out?
Him and Bill, were cousins. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they were first cousins. Bill Matlock.
Do you think he? I don't know if y'all ever talked about it, but do you think he took it pretty hard when Bill Medlock passed away, or?
Well, he did take it pretty hard. I was at the funeral, so yeah, he did. He took it pretty hard, and we all kind of did, really, because we wasn't. That was one of the first, musician friends of ours that in brother, I guess you might say, that we had to bury. So it was all new stuff to us,
Tim took the place of an old boy that picked for us for about 12 or 13 years, the name of Bill Matlock, that we lost back last February in an accident. And Tim does a fine job. Johnny Duncan, all the rest of them.
Tim, because he's been on that TV show, as you know, for a long time. His name is Johnny Duncan. John?
Everybody's got one, baby, mine hang up is you. Everybody's got one, a hang up of some kind. Call it habit or call it weakness, thank goodness I've got mine. The wanting, the needing, the craving keeps my world from falling through. Everybody's got one, baby, my hang up is you. I'm hung up on the thrills I get when I hold you in my arms. I'm hung up because I need your love to wrap around and keep me warm. little piece, your little piece of heaven. You're all I've got to hang on to. Everybody's got one, baby, my hang-up is you. I'm hung up on the thrills I get when I hold you in my arms. I'm hung up because I need your love to wrap around to keep me warm. Oh, baby, you're my little piece of heaven. You're all I've got to hang on to. Everybody's got one, baby, my hang-up is you. Everybody's got one, baby, my hang-up is you.
All right, John, I like it grammar guitar there. We hadn't said a word about that, but that's one of those old grammar guitars.
That's a beautiful. If it sounds like I'm out of tune, it's no fault of the guitar. This grammar is a
It's only the fault of Johnny Duncan, right?
Right.
Some reason I didn't run into him anymore. I don't know if he got how long he was sick. He might have got sick. I don't remember the year for sure when he passed. Johnny, no, we didn't do any more stuff together. Kind of sad, didn't, but you never know when something's going to happen.
And we'd like to thank all the fine folks that sponsored our show, because if it wasn't for people like them, there wouldn't be people like us picking an old guitar and singing, acting crazy, and having Art Gibbons and Nat Murphy on our show, I'll tell you for sure. Here's some of the finest country boys I've known in a long time. I'll tell you that for about the last 13 years. Johnny Duncan, right? Come here a minute, Hoss. We've been picking around the country, had a few TV shows here, there, and the other. We've advertised for, we've given away mobile homes, we've sold syrup, we've sold Dixie Lily flour, and we've sold everything, haven't we? We did it all.
Yeah, after Gene, he just... And Gene had to talk him into playing that 1978 show in Washington, D.C. Dad wasn't going to do that. But the loyalty, and Gene really wanted him to do it, is what had Dad went ahead and did it. That was the last time that he played with Kent, probably with Ken and Lehman and all them guys. Traveling with James to a Sammy Kershaw show out in Texas, I think, in 1993. And on their way to that show, Dad, they stopped to use the bathroom and stuff, and Dad kind of was complaining of some chest pains. And he got to the nearest hospital, which I think was at the time in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. And they found a blockage and everything, but that kind of cleared, I guess, and got him on up to Baptist Hospital in Little Rock. And up there and realized the damage to his heart was really bad. Didn't think he would leave the hospital, but he proved them wrong on that, and they sent him home. And about six weeks later, back in May of 1993, is when he passed away. My dad passed away. Gene was a pallbearer.
I thought you was watching all the pretty girls over there.
Well, I was watching some of those too.
You still got that habit, don't you?
I sure do.
I tell you what, let's do. Let's get you to sing a song for all the folks in Poughkeepsie, Arkansas.
Okay, and Medlock-town too.
That's the suburbs of Poughkeepsie. What's the population of Poughkeepsie?
About when all the dogs are in, around 78.
78. That's in Sharp County, right?
Sharp County.
I wish I was in the land of cotton, old times there not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland, and Dixieland, where I was born. On one cold and frosty morning, look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Well, I wish I was in Dixie, hooray, hooray. In Dixieland, I'll take my stand to live